Huge warning. Crypto is going to go straight up. But as you're watching this on January 3rd, 2024, it's collapsing down. What is going on? In today's video, we're going to break that down. How Jim Cramer said that cryptocurrency cannot be stopped. At the same time, about a year ago, he said he wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'm obviously paraphrasing, but I'm going to show you how the game actually works. Because as you look this way, there's a whole nother narrative going on this way. My name is Coach JV. What I work to do is make complex macro microeconomic strategies, these very confusing situations, simple so the normal everyday person can implement them. We have free resources to help you and guide you through this process. So my first resource is a free consultation with my licensed insurance team. I'm passionate about securing my wealth in insurance, tier one capital in this very volatile market. I've been doing it since 2020. That helped me create the wealth timeline for my family. So when I make profits, I secure in tier one capital, which is insurance. I insure my wealth. Okay. We can set up a free consultation. It's in the description of my video. So you can ask questions around how we do this and our strategy as we go into the bull run. Number two is a 16-page, absolutely free guide. It shows you exactly how my blueprint is set up. I'm only speaking from my paradigm. And you can also apply for our academy down below if you want to jump right in. That is a paid academy, to be very clear. It's an education academy. We're all launching on January 8th as we continue forward. All right, so let's dive into this. So this can be a little bit confusing, right? Jim Cramer yesterday, breaking news, says that it can't be stopped. Basically, crypto cannot be stopped, specifically Bitcoin he was talking about. But a while ago, he sold all his crypto and said it's horrible, right? And then all of a sudden you wake up today and crypto is collapsing. Well, let's think about this for just a moment before we go into these videos. Okay. What is on the horizon? A Bitcoin ETF. What did MicroStrategies do? They increased their position in Bitcoin. Think about this, guys. We're constantly playing their cycle. So what may be happening now is what I think is happening based on my analytics and studying history and patterns is basically what's happening is they're pulling profits, causing a panic in the market, which creates a great buying opportunity potentially before an ETF approval, which is going to make it go parabolic. Okay, so when you have profits, you should pull. That's why I have a strict exit plan as these things go parabolic. For me, this is what I'm doing. These are great buying opportunities. When I see things go red like this, I always have cash on the sidelines to buy in. Every Friday, I dollar cost average into crypto. So every Friday, I'm always buying crypto. And on these types of dips, boom, I'm in. I'm buying. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. So let's dive into the information in the news. It just happened. So I'm going to show you a video from actually, it was 1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago, where Jim Cramer, this was after the Sam Bankman-Fried or Freed or whatever you call his name, the FTX collapse, right? And remember, if you go back in videos previously, Jim Cramer was buying Bitcoin. Then he sold all his Bitcoin. And it seems like every time he says something, it's the opposite effect, which is a great buying opportunity. I'm very optimistic about all this stuff, not pessimistic. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for creating a buying opportunity. So this was 1 year ago. Okay, so take notes to what he says 1 year ago. Then we'll listen to what he said yesterday, and then I'll explain to you what I think is happening with the markets and what I'm doing.
You know that, again, the faith of the American people shocked. Just shocked. I mean, I still think that crypto, I sold all my crypto. I announced everything on TV, what I did with crypto. But I would not touch crypto in a million years because I wouldn't trust the deposit bank.
And you're making no distinction between centralized, decentralized.
They fought regulation. They didn't want regulation, and you don't have regulation. So if you have your money in any of those, look, I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm just saying you're using a lot of blind faith.
Okay, now what I do agree with, I'm going to give him a little bit of love here. What I do agree with is the fact that, like FTX, Celsius, right? You are somewhat a blind faith. That's why I always share with people, never invest more you can afford to lose. It's very speculative, guys. Think about that. What he's saying, there's some truth in that, guys. There's nobody regulating these exchanges. So if FTX collapse, he gets off with the second trial. He might get off with a slap on his hand. Celsius collapse. They can just take your money. There's no Bank of America, Chase. But these are key signals that what he's saying. Okay. So now here he's saying he wouldn't basically touch it with a 10-foot pole. But then all of a sudden, a year later, guys, BlackRock says that crypto is a flight to safety. And this is him a year later. Check this out. 1 year later on Watch Your Guru. Check this out.
No, it won't be an ETF. but I do think that the people who are in it for that are going to use that as a chance to sell. But this thing is, you can't kill it.
No, you can't.
And the late Charlie Munger, who was so brilliant on so many things, was blind to this. Now you could say, wait a second, maybe it's all going to come
Jamie
unraveled.
Dimon has not spared any negative words.
No, but look, I mean, it's a reality and it's a technological marvel. And I think people have to start recognizing that it's here to stay. The SEC's been against it almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that every one of these is here to stay, but I do think that this is a remarkable comeback that was unexpected.
They're literally giving you the blueprint in plain sight, guys. Okay. A year ago, Kramer's saying in front of all the public that he bought a year before that. I think it was a year. Don't quote me on the dates, but a year before that. Then he sold all his crypto because the FTX collapsed. They're signaling what's happening, guys. They're saying, hey, listen, there's no regulated institutions. We have this Ripple case, right? Guys, and then I'm going to report to you why I think that this is dropping in just a moment. And I'm going to share with you tomorrow on my YouTube channel why I think this is dropping, because there were some IRS rules that just came out. So now all of a sudden, the narrative is now, hey, guys, it's a flight to safety. Hey, guys, this is what the public, they're warming up the public. They're indoctrinating the public for the next step. So you heard Kramer say the ETF is here, okay? And this is the a gentleman from Coinbase is talking about the ETF as well.
So this Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF for the U.S. markets, really as foundational and as big a deal as people are making it out to be. It's a structural market change for this asset class that's coming into its being. The noise and chatter around sort of this approval is certainly intensifying, and we'll see how things play out. But the way we see it is that there's going to be secular demand and funds flows that are going to be coming into this asset class, this asset in particular. And then when you couple that with the halving that's coming up, which will reduce the block subsidy that's on the supply side by half, those two factors will, I think, combine together to be pretty explosive.
Okay, so the Bitcoin ETF is the big thing. So here's what I think might be happening, but I wanted to show you this really quickly for your protection. This came out from Jeremy Hogan. If you don't follow Jeremy Hogan on Twitter, I highly recommend it. Don't forget, guys, this is why we teach people this. This is why we created Merlin. This is why we're constantly educating people on this. Yeah, it's very exciting to make a bunch of money in crypto. But if you don't understand how short-term and long-term capital gains work, you're going to get a huge tax bill, number one. Number two is if you don't know how to pull profits, you're going to come sliding down the back end. So there's rules that we have to train ourselves, and that's what we do in our academy. I constantly am training people mentally, physically, spiritually for these types of things. Nobody in my family was extremely wealthy, so I was never taught how wealth works, how capital gains work. And so I got rocked with some tax bills. And so I sought wise counsel. I built a team around me. So when I pull profits, guys, I'm looking, is it short term? Now, most of mine will be long term because I've been holding since mostly 2020. I sold some off. I had some short-term capital gains from 2021 to 2022, which were pretty significant, guys. But I always look at the risk to reward, right? So if I make $1 million in crypto, to me, it's definitely worth pulling 50% of that and taking the hit and then putting it into something like Index Universal Life for me, where I can compound, right? I can compound and my principal is guaranteed. Then I can borrow against that asset. Okay, say if I borrow at 5% and I buy and I go back into the markets and it gives me another 15%, I'm netting that 10%, right? So that's the key of moving money around all the time. Okay. So what I wanted to show you guys is, he talks about in 2024, as you plan to take your profits from being crypto rich, don't forget to strategize taxes. Very, very important. Okay. Now we can't help you with your taxes, but we can help you understand, because inside of Merlin, what we created, we solved all these problems. So basically, when you're coming into Merlin, what you'll be doing is setting up your exit plan. It's extremely important to set up your exit plan. We are in the Super Bowl now, guys. Okay. They don't just show up to the Super Bowl without practicing. This is your practicing. We set up, we had spreadsheets before. We now have it on an app that we created from the ground up. This is not some white labeled app that we could have created. We built it from the ground up. 36,000 lines of code. Tons of effort's been put into this behind the scenes. Okay. We have a whole team building this thing out. We knew that this would be critical for the bull run because we saw what happened to people. People got absolutely destroyed in the bull run, and they were been depressed since the last bull run because they didn't pull profits. So within Merlin, it's an interface. We don't hold your keys. We don't hold your combos. We have no access to your crypto. It's just an interface, a screen showing all your exchanges in one place. Okay. Number two, you set up an exit plan. You can also put in your tax bracket. You go to the IRS, you put it, figure out, you can go to the IRS and figure out your tax bracket based on your income, put in your tax bracket. So it'll show you what your profit's going to be, how much you need to pay Uncle Sam. Does all these things for you. It doesn't do it, exercise it for you. It gives you the data for you, right? And then you put in your exit targets. So if you're sitting at dinner with your friends and shit like this happens, where it goes straight down, okay, or straight up, mostly straight up. Sorry, if it's going straight down, if you have an exit plan, that'd be going up. I guess you could set a target going down. But anyways, going up, like for example, I'll be sitting at dinner and all of a sudden XRP's at $3.70. I'm going to pull 10 to 15% of my portfolio. Okay. So I'll stop for a moment. I'll go exercise that. I'll get it into a stable coin, and then I'll wait to see what I'm going to do with that money next. Because it's not profits unless you realize that there's going to be a ton of people. The Dogecoin millionaire is a great example. He is no longer a millionaire. He watched it shoot up, was all over the news, and then it collapsed down to be a thousandaire. Guys, there's the reason why all of you are in this is to free your family financially. You can't free your family financially if you don't learn how to diversify and multiply your money. It will never happen. That's like going to school, getting a job in a 401k. So if you're in a job and you have crypto and you're just watching it go up and down, that's what's happening today. So let me explain what I think is happening today. I get super excited when I see deep red days like this because I know what I hold. And I also am diversified outside of crypto. So if it's shot down to zero, I have my insurance policy set up. I have my businesses rocking and rolling, a little bit of silver. I'm going into gold. I'm starting into real estate. So I'm making sure that if one thing collapses, I'm good to go. Okay. But these things excite me because I know what I hold. I know it's going to continue to go up. So when I see things like this happen, I look at, okay, 30,000 foot overview. Guys, Bitcoin ETF is coming very, very closely. So there was tons of profits made from December to now. Like, think about that. They're pulling their profits, panicking the market, most likely. Okay. And then what happens is people start to panic. Oh my God, why did I get in? So they pull, price goes lower. We buy back in, or we buy in. I will buy in. I didn't pull profits on this. It's not straight up. So, I'm not a trader, but they do trade. They pull, right? So then we're going to buy back in, or they're going to buy back in. I'm going to buy the dip. And then when the ETF gets approved, they have tons more profit. And then just going to play the same game. As these things go up, they'll pull profits, panic the market. That's the key to crypto right now because of the volatility. That's why I believe it's the greatest opportunity in human history right now, because once regulation comes in, that volatility and institutions come in and demand comes in, that volatility is going to get sucked out every single year. Every single year, it's going to get less and less and less. The more volume and the more normalized, the more tokenized, the less volume, or excuse me, less volatility to be. The volatility is what makes you gives you the opportunity to make a large amount of wealth in a short amount of time. I always say, and people comment down below, but this not get rich quick, guys, because if you get rich quick and you haven't built a foundation, you're going to go buy a Lambo. You're going to go buy a house you can't afford. You're going to have to pay taxes on that. You're going to start going out to dinners that you shouldn't be going out to. You're going to start frivolously spending. You're going to start traveling. And then all of a sudden that money's going to be gone. You have to rewire the foundation. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. In the description down below, you can apply for our private academy. You can also sign up for Merlin 30 days for free. You can download my free book. You can do all these things. You can set up a free consultation with my licensed insurance team. So I'm a licensed insurance agent. I built a team of licensed insurance agents, all 50 states, and we're getting really close to Canada right now. Our teammate is taking their testing in Canada right now, and we'll be expanding into Canada hopefully within the next 60 days. There's a lot of rules in Canada versus America. So we'll have you set up in all areas of life. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Let's go.